It's Conduit News Radio with Paul Harrell.
All right, folks, welcome to the program. Thanks so much for being with us. Let's kind of give a little spotlight. We're going to zoom in here on a state representative, State House District 71. We have the Republican candidate running for that office, Dr. Joe Cloud, is on the line. Dr. Cloud, welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you for allowing me to be on your show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's just talk real quick. Why'd you decide to run?
Well, Paul, that's a great question and one I've been asked many, many times. I started this process about 14 months ago, actually, approached by some of the Republican leaders looking for maybe a little bit different direction in our representation, and it kind of went from there. And after much prayerful consideration and visiting with my wife and family members, I decided to get on board and throw my hat in the ring.
That's good. That's good. So when you knock the doors and you're going around asking for people's votes, first, are people receptive to the Republican message?
Yes, I believe they are very receptive. And, you know, like anything else, there's 2 points of view or more, and but people are open to a dialogue and a discussion for the most part. I have run into some, I would use the term radical on both sides, left and right, that are not really interested in much dialogue. But by far the majority, yes, sir, are interested in a healthy discussion.
So what about this casino issue? First of all, tell us District 71. What counties are we talking about?
Pope County, Paul.
Okay. So you guys are ground zero. You're in Pope County. That's your district. So what do you think about this casino measure? I mean, the rest of the state is going to vote to whether or not to put a casino in your county.
That's exactly correct, and that's one of the greatest concerns that Pope Countyans have is, we're losing local control in a sense if this issue 4 passes, Paul, and that's a great concern for our citizens. We don't want 74 other counties to tell one county, in particular Pope County, what she has to do on this issue. Mm-hmm. So we do have a referendum on our ballot that will prohibit, if it stands up, legal challenges, of course, and if it passes, it will prohibit our county judge, it will prohibit our quorum court, it will prohibit any of our leaders to say independently, yes, we want to go ahead and have this casino. So hopefully, if that referendum passes, whether or not issue 4 passes, at least Pope County will be able to have a voice and a say in what goes on here.
Okay. So you're saying after this, okay, if it passes, and I just kind of think it will. I really do. But maybe not. But you're saying if it does pass, there is some mechanism that the Pope County, the residents there, the people there, or their representatives can say, no, we'll pass.
Correct, if it passes. In other words, we're voting on that as we go in to vote on the other issues. Then we are also voting on our local referendum.
Okay.
So that we would be able to have a popular vote.
I got it. Okay, so there's I'm clear now. So there's 2 different things. There's the actual issue, and then you guys got a referendum to try to stop it if it does pass, and that's a really, really smart move, by the people of Pope County. Yeah, I mean, I just think, look, we just talked to economist Dr. Michael Packo, and he was talking about, Arkansas, still a low-income state. We still have really a lot of work to do. We heard that also from your hopefully future colleague, State Representative Pilkington. And I think at this point, if you were to just add casinos to this state, I mean, not 1, but 4 full-fledged casinos, I just don't think that would be very good in helping economic disadvantaged people climbing up the ladder when you have, a lot of this gambling. It'd be so close.
Well, I totally agree with you, Paul. And obviously, this is a tremendously divisive issue. and facts coming out from both sides. And the thing about it is, if you really look at those facts and you really examine those facts, as the term has been coined, the fake news. There's a lot of non-factual quote facts unquote that are coming out, and so people really need to be smart, and they really need to study this issue before they go vote, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this, Dr. Cloud, as a medical doctor, how do you see healthcare? How's healthcare changed since you've been practicing? Is it is it to the betterment of patients? Have things gotten worse? Is there too much government involved in healthcare? What's your philosophy there?
That's a great question, Paul. Is there too much government in healthcare? Is there too much government in anything? My answer resoundingly would be yes. The local or recent Democratic platform basically touts universal health care, as opposed to the Republican platform, which states that we should be individually responsible. So there's just a basic difference right there. To more directly answer your question, practicing as a physician for 32 years, I did see a lot of changes in our healthcare system. And in my very humble opinion, what happened initially, and I'm just talking on a real broad plane here, is that the insurance companies were able to wiggle in between the healthcare practitioner and the patient, so that created a divide. And then with the government interventions as far as Medicare, Medicaid, and their rules and regulations, that furthered the divide. And then with the Affordable Care Act, which was passed, that even widened the gap. So it's when a patient comes into the office now, there are rules and regulations that the practitioner has to follow if they expect to get any sort of reimbursement that actually, Paul, have nothing to do with why that patient comes into your office. And for me, that was so tremendously frustrating, because I wanted to be there for that patient, in my case, her particular needs, wants, desires, concerns, but I had to address all these other things and type it in on the computer and make sure that she was, quote, registered, unquote, with all of these factors that had nothing to do with why she actually presented to my office, and that was extremely frustrating.
So what do you think the solution is to try to stop that? I mean, is there anything we can do on a state level? Honestly, I made a joke the other day. Somebody said, well, the casino measure's on the ballot. I said, don't we already have casinos? Aren't they big insurance companies? I mean, the people have to have it, right? People go in, have to have it, but I think they end up losing in the end,
Yes. Well, and there's different issues and a whole nother discussion concerning some tort reform. Of course, the Supreme Court struck this issue one, so our votes don't count on that. But I think some form of responsible tort reform, like the surrounding states have, I think that would help. That increases the cost of health care the way it is in Arkansas, if you just talk about a state level. But I'm afraid the whole discussion of health care is going to have to come from a national level, because that's where we've gotten to.
I really appreciate you coming on, Dr. Joe Cloud. You're a Republican candidate for State Rep District 71. What else? Real quick, last question. Any other issues? I know the casinos, at the forefront. Any other issues on the minds of your potential constituents out there when you go and you talk to them?
Yes, sir. I've been out at the election headquarters almost every day since early voting started. And we've had record turnout, Paul, which I would commend the people. Please go vote. Our last election we had locally, 18.5% of the registered voters voted. Please just go out and vote. Of course, the casino issue 4, is driving a lot of that vote, I believe. We have a hotly contested mayoral race with 3 candidates, and I think that's driving a lot of the voters to come out. We have had on our books for quite some time a convention center. We've spent $5 million to purchase land, and we've got about $2.4 million in the bank, and it's just been sitting around. So that's a local issue, I think, again, that are driving local voters. We have, like other cities and other areas, we have some infrastructure issues and drainage issues. And again, those have kind of been kicked down the road. And I think those are also driving our voter turnout locally.
Well, Dr. Joe Cloud, I wish you the best of luck, sir. Hopefully you'll be celebrating on November 6th, the night of. And, you know, I know you want to represent the folks of Pope County well in District 71. So I hope you have a great day, sir.
Well, thank you, Paul. Regna populus, the people rule. So if I am a representative, that's what I want to do, is to represent the people.
Dr. Joe Cloud, it's great to meet you, sir. Thanks for coming on, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Paul.
All right, folks, we're going to reset here. Going to come back, get you some more news